This is CBS 46 News at noon. Getting results.
Good afternoon. Happy to be back with you. I'm Karen Greer. We're going to begin now with breaking news at noon. A huge development at the state level. We are awaiting at any moment a shelter-in-place order signed by Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. Haley Mason has been working on her contacts, working with them in the governor's office. But CBS 46's Daniel Wilkerson also beginning our coverage, though, right now. And he's been getting minute-by-minute updates from the Capitol. Daniel?
Karen, good afternoon to you. This is like nothing we've ever seen. The entire state of Georgia to be put on a lockdown. Our contacts with Governor Kemp's office have told us that they've been scrambling all morning just to get this done. It could happen at any moment. Of course, we're talking about the signing of that order. We don't have a firm time as to when it will happen. We've been watching this side of the Capitol because this is where Governor Kemp has been making his announcements, having his press conferences, all because of social distancing. But take a look. You at home want to know what this means for you. Well, it will mean if you do not have an essential job, you will be mandated to stay at home, only leaving for bare necessities, to go to the grocery store, to go to get medications. Any exercise done outside will have to be done at a social distance. Now, the major change for all of this is this. The governor has said this order will be enforced. What that enforcement will look like, we are working to get you details on that right now. Also, Governor Kemp will announce as part of his order that all schools have been canceled for the remainder of the academic year. Now, my colleague Rebecca Schramm, she will have more on that here in just a moment. But the governor had this to say, reassuring Georgians.
I understand people are scared. We've never seen anything like this, but as I mentioned at the close of my speech, we don't need to be afraid.
Again, the breaking news at this noon hour, Governor Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, to sign an unprecedented shelter-in-place order. He's to sign that at any moment. That order will start tomorrow and will run through April 13th. We're live at the Capitol at noon. Daniel Wilkerson, CBS 46 News.
Daniel, thank you so much. Yeah, people trying to wrap their heads around this. So our team coverage right now continuing with Haley Mason. She's also outside the Capitol tracking the latest updates on this order. She has more on people who are trying to get an outdoor workout in before the order actually takes effect. Haley?
Karen, that's right. We are not the only people waiting on the details of this order to come out. People in various suburbs around Metro Atlanta are waiting as well. And this morning, our photojournalist Eric Hurst was out at Alexander Park in Lawrenceville and caught up with some people who were getting in a workout before much tighter restrictions go into place tomorrow. We want to make note that these people were practicing social distancing. They weren't just there congregating and hanging out, but they were out this morning just trying to follow the latest updates on what will be allowed and what will be off limits when this shelter-in-place order goes into effect tomorrow. We do know that the parks have been open across the state, and Governor Kemp announced that the Department of Natural Resources will be making sure that people were keeping distance and not just socializing. People were out this morning in Lawrenceville exercising and getting some air, trying to just figure out what's next as parents are taking care of their kids at home now. We talked to one resident who says he definitely agrees that the order is necessary.
Well, I think that the governor's move is necessary because we're trying to get control of this virus here. Now, some of the shutdowns, a lot of people might not agree with because there's still things in life that people trying to do and take care of as far as their everyday life is concerned. But as far as most of all of it, is very necessary. I mean, just to cut this virus down to a point where more lives are saved, basically.
Yeah, more lives being saved is definitely the goal, and we are checking in every half hour to see when this order will be signed. I do know that the governor's team has been working on this throughout the night, and we'll be working to bring you late-breaking details as soon as they are ironed out in this shelter-in-place order. But for now at noon, I'm reporting live outside of the state capitol. Haley Mason for CBS 46 News.
Haley, folks are anxious to get the details. Thanks. More breaking news right now. There are more than 5,300 confirmed cases of COVID-19 here in Georgia. That's up 600 cases since Wednesday. And across the state, 163 people have died and more than 1,000 are hospitalized. Breaking news on the economy this noon, the Labor Department releasing new unemployment numbers, and they're staggering. CBS 46's Carolyn Ryan's here with that.
Karen, jobless claims skyrocketed last week like we have never seen before. Take a look at this. We've just learned 6.6 million Americans filed for unemployment last week. That's more than double what it was the week before that. So you add up those two things, and in just 2 weeks, nearly 10 million people in our country have lost their jobs. And let me put these numbers into perspective for you. Until last month, the worst week for unemployment filings in this country was 695,000 all the way back in 1982. So the speed and the scale of job losses that we're seeing right now is unprecedented. Businesses here and around the world are shut down or slowed down due to the coronavirus outbreak. Of course, the president hoping the $2 trillion stimulus package will help keep the economy afloat. But Karen, at this point, no one can predict what's next.
Absolutely right. Carolyn Ryan, thanks so much. Let's take a look at how Wall Street is reacting to these numbers. Right now, the Dow up around 370 points. Well, 398 right now, almost 2% gain. We're going to keep an eye on the numbers throughout this half hour. Look at it continuing to rise at 401 and then back down. So we'll watch it all morning long. Now, Governor Kemp's order to keep the schools closed through the end of the year has some parents worried about how they're going to keep their children on track academically at home. Rebecca Schramm shares some words of wisdom from an expert.
For those of us with teenagers, they don't really need our help with this distance learning. But what about those who have younger children? Check out this family from Kennesaw. Sunny Lampert and her husband have 4 children under the age of 7 when Sunny found out school buildings are closed through the end of the school year.
It really hit kind of hard. Taking care of 4 kids who are completely out of their routine, and then adjusting to also teaching them and wanting to make sure I'm doing a good job. It's a lot.
The first thing I would say is don't panic.
Judy Sardin is a former corporate attorney turned homeschool mom who's now a homeschool coach and author. She reminds parents that the school year was starting to wind down anyway before the coronavirus shutdown.
Parents, don't feel like you've got to be a replacement for their at-school teacher. I don't think that schools have that expectation.
She says parents of younger children should really focus on 2 main things: math skills and reading.
If you can read to them or have them read to you or have them read by themselves, and if they can just do a little bit of math, they're going to be okay.
Welcome news for overwhelmed parents.
It is really reassuring to hear that.
Judy, our homeschooling expert, has a podcast. If you're interested, I've got a link in a story I've posted on our CBS 46 app. Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
Thanks, Rebecca. There's another challenge here for students who rely on school for meals. You can find a list of food distribution sites in Metro Atlanta on our CBS 46 streaming app. A lot of this information is coming in and changing so rapidly. So we're leading coverage on the coronavirus outbreak with hourly updates for you on our powerful CBS 46 app and our CBS 46 Facebook page. Join us for our next update. That's at 1 o'clock. Right now, beautiful blue skies across Metro Atlanta, shaping up to be a nice spring day, but man, it didn't start like this. Fred, it was freezing out there. Let's get right to meteorologist Fred Campagna for more on our most accurate forecast.
Hi, Karen. Yeah, it was cold this morning, like legitimately cold. In the 30s to around 40, a still air this morning. There was no breeze out there, but once we got some April sunshine going, it warmed us up in a hurry. In fact, we have this beautiful day underway, 57 now in Atlanta after starting at 40 degrees. Most spots are closing in on 60 pretty quickly here in the early afternoon, and there's just this delightful blue sky. So if you can get outside a little bit, even if it's just in the yard or just on the deck for a little while this afternoon. It is so nice out there. Temperatures will be in the mid and upper 60s, and then it'll fall back through the 50s during the evening and overnight. A little bit of good news as far as our pollen count goes. Yes, it's high, but it is lower than it was yesterday. 974, at least back down into triple digits instead of in the thousands. We have some great weather to talk about in the 7-day forecast, and we'll do just that coming up in less than 10 minutes.
All right, Fred, thank you so much. Right now, the man who police say killed 3 people and kidnapped his 2-year-old son yesterday near Macon is in police custody. and his son, we're told, is safe. 29-year-old Caesar Crockett spotted in Tampa, Florida yesterday after an Amber Alert was issued earlier that morning. Now, Crockett led Florida law enforcement on a high-speed chase until he eventually crashed with his 2-year-old son, King, in the car. After a nearly 6-hour armed standoff, Crockett surrendered and was taken into custody. The child's mother has been called to pick him up. Crockett will eventually be extradited back here to Georgia to face kidnapping and other charges. It's a story CSI Atlanta's bringing you continuing coverage on. New developments in the 1946 Moores Ford Bridge lynching. No member of the white mob who tortured and killed 2 African-American couples on that infamous Walton County bridge will ever be held accountable for those murders. An Atlanta federal appeals court ruling the grand jury transcripts must remain sealed. In an 8-4 split, the court refusing to make an exception to a federal rule that allows grand jury records of historical significance to be unsealed. Although more than 100 people testified before a grand jury, no one was ever indicted in the murders of the Malcolms and the Dorseys. Well, still ahead, struggling renters unable to pay in April. Better Call Harry has what you need to know about the temporary protections put in place.